Well, welcome back to Mr. Obsolete's Vintage Homesteading Traditional Christmas. My host here is Wizzy. He's going to make sure I do everything right here. Not right there, Wizzy? Anyway, he just my little constant companion here. So anyway, we're going to take a look and see what Santa brought us. Okay, Wizzy, you can go down and scout around here for me. I bet I know what this is. This is a traditional Christmas present I get every year. Onions and lumps of coal. I haven't quite figured out what Santa means by that. I get these every year, but it's really nice with onions. I can make onion fritters, or I can make an onion burger and stuff like that. And the coal here, it's got multiple uses. We can use it to heat the house. We can use it to put in a forge if we're doing metalworking, or we can use it in steam engines to make steam to play with our steam toys. So that's always nice to get. Don't you agree there, Fuzzy? Well, let's see what else we got here. Okay, well, we have some little tin toys that have been made for many years in Germany. Still making them today. And since the light is in here is pretty poor, we're going to go outside and get a short break in the weather where it's actually light out, and we'll go over and show you what these are and what they're for. We'll unbox this too when we get outside, but it says J.C. Higgins 2-mantle lantern. So this is an interesting piece. So we'll take that out and show you that too. Oh, I wonder what this is. Gee, that's a pretty big hunk of junk here. Oh, look at that. A Wright Chainsaw from early 60s. It's a really unusual saw because they made very few actual chainsaws. They made saws that had a reciprocating blade on them and were used for a lot of things, meat processing and wood processing, of course, but these are quite rare. There's a big old monster. I think it's a 77cc, but anyway, we'll go out in the sunlight where we can talk about it more and give you all a good BS on it. Well, we got a real nice surprise for Christmas this year. My favorite vintage chainsaw. This one's a real unusual one. It's a Wright. And that company mostly made saws that had a blade on them. I'll show you a picture after a bit of what they look like. But anyway. This is made in the early 60s. It's 77cc. And it's got a 17-inch bar. And just a real unusual saw, the way it's laid out. Get your manual oiling lever here, fuel fill and oil fill up here. Got dual falling spikes on it. Come up and do a close-up on this exhaust system on it. It's pretty unusual. So anyway, it's got rare and unusual shape for the top of a saw. Most of them don't have anything like that. Needs a little bit of work. I gotta find a clutch drum for it. And it's got a really weird carburetor on it. It's got a Carter pumper carb on it, which I've never run into before. So I did locate a place where I can get a kit for them. They make them on occasion. So anyway, we decided to come out here and show it off rather than the house because the light's a lot better out here, and we got a little bit of break in the weather because our weather's been so lousy due to global cooling. We've had snow, ice, freezing rain, and wind all within the last 4 days, and this is like a miracle. Anyway, here's what the other side looks like. Just a nice unusual saw. Since last year we also got an unusual saw I've had in video before, but we'll bring it back out here. This is a root Whiz. That Whiz right there. I like these unusual saws. They're a lot harder to put into operation because there's virtually no parts for them, and the carburetors are usually odd stuff. This one has a Power Products power head, so it's not quite so bad, but it's unusual because it's got the air cleaner and the carburetor out in front, mounted off the bottom of the crankcase there. You know, again, about the same size bar, about a 17, I believe. So I'm going to have to get out and start getting a workout. These saws are heavy, so let's weigh them and see. That was 24 pounds. That one's 26 pounds. So remember my motto, if you've got to complain about a heavy saw, that means you're a weenie and you need to toughen up. And that's me this summer and early winter. I need to get tough for next year. Be back with some more stuff. Okay, well, here's another little unique treasure that we got. And since I like collecting Sears stuff and have for a long time, this is a really nice piece. What we have here is a J.C. Higgins 2-mantle lantern. This one is a nice piece because it's still brand new in the box. So let's take it out and take a look. This lantern is pretty unique in the fact that it was made by the Thermos company. They took over another brand I'll go into in detail more when I start doing some more lantern movies. Anyway, it's got this really nice J.C. Higgins lantern sticker on it here. And you get your tip cleaner here, and your on-off knob, and your pressure pump for the tank. The other thing that's nice about it, still got the original owners and parts manual. It tells you how to operate it, take it apart, has all the parts listed out. And some original J.C. Higgins lantern mantles. So anyway, even though my main hobby is collecting anything with engines or motors in them or on them, this is a close second because it runs on gasoline. Be back with some more. Well, we have here some logging themed tin toys, and these are made in Germany by a company called Velasco. I've been around for years and years making these. And you know, we get a guy splitting wood, a 2-man saw, a single-man saw here, and these things operate like that. That's going to be hard to do because it's... Anyway, but there again, going back to collecting engines and motors. Here we have a model steam engine to run them. The thing that's fascinating to me about steam engines is that that's what powered our planet for over a century. And basically they run on boiling water. You put water in here, heat under it, turns to steam, and comes up here and runs a cylinder, and then you run belts off to operate all the different machinery. And even today, it's steam turbines to generate electricity, so steam is still a major force in the power industry, but reciprocating engines like this are a thing of the past. But anyway, you get a little whistle up here and a safety valve, and get a throttle here. And this is what's called a double acting engine, so that it actually has in here the main piston, and then it has a small one on the other side, and then you move this lever here, that'll change direction. It changes it where the steam comes in to make it run either this way or this way. So anyway, all in all, it's been a nice Christmas. I know what some of you pros are thinking out there. I bet Mr. Obsolete learned his logging skills from playing with tin toys. Well, you're wrong. Here's why. I've been using chainsaws and cutting wood. This will be the 43rd year. Before the internet, since I went to school, learned how to read and write. I have manuals. This one is a vintage chainsaw manual. It has all the tune-up specs and all the stuff I need for working on my old saws. But there's a chapter in here too about how to cut wood and process it in all the different ways and do it safely. Of course, now we have the internet, so the best videos I've found were actually put out by the U.S. Forestry Service and the Forestry Service in Canada. They have some really excellent videos, so if you're unsure of your cutting skills or whatever like that, those would be excellent places to watch, because they go from very simple stuff to most advanced and everything in between. So anyway, that's it for today. So remember, vintage is best, and we'll see you soon. And we got something exciting coming up. We got an unboxing coming up next week. It's a long awaited thing, so stay tuned. We'll see you then.